and welcome to We Are Fins from the Top, where we talk to chief executives across the top businesses in the aviation and aerospace industries. I'm with Gaël Méheust, the CEO of CFM, the joint venture between GE and Safran. Gaël, welcome to the program. Tell us first of all about that joint venture. It's been going for a while, and joint ventures usually end up with a little bit of snarling and fighting. How's it going between your two companies?
Well, as you may know, this joint venture has been created in 1974. And we have renewed our agreement between the two parent companies up to 2040. So it's almost more more than a lifetime of a human being. And I don't know if you know, but 80% of joint ventures die after 5 years. So we are very blessed at CFM that we found the right ingredients to make it work the way it does. You know, there were very, very important choices that have been made at the early stage. One was to decide that everything would be 50-50. We would share revenue 50-50. We would share the engine 50-50. All decisions, and that is definitely a key factor for success. And so far, it couldn't be better.
Now, I'm a married man, and I know how difficult a 50-50 decision can be. Somebody has to be in charge. Now, you've come from the Safran side, so does that happen on a couple of years that Safran will be making the big decisions and then GE do them? And
it's you know, within the status of CFM, what was decided at the very beginning was that the language would be English, not French. That the headquarters of CFM would be in Cincinnati, Ohio, so in the US, but in compensation, the CEO would always be a Frenchman. But so it's not because I'm a Frenchman that the balance will lean over France. Actually, I have two executive vice presidents that are working besides me. One is from France, one is from the United States, and it works perfectly. We have a tremendous success in taking the right decisions on a consensus basis between GE and Safran. It has always been the case.
And how is it working in terms of the finances? How is the company's strength?
Oh, we have had an amazing year 2017. We have received more than 3,400 orders, which makes 2017 the second best year in the history of CFM when it comes to orders. 2,900 of them were LEAP engines, by the way. That represents a book of business of $46 billion at list price. So that's for the order. Now, on the production side, we also had an amazing year. We have produced 1,900 engines, a record year. The previous record year was 2016 with 1,770 engines. And it seems like every year now is now a record year for CFM in production. Market shares, you know, we are powering 75% of the single-aisle market, whether we're talking about the current generation or the new generation with the MAX, with the Neo, the C919. So, I mean, we are really, really in a wonderful position, I have to say.
Now that brings its own manufacturing challenges, and I mean, it's been well documented. You had a bit of a lag with catching up. How is that going? Are you increasing the production? And when we look at how many are being sold now, you've surely got to step up your production as well to meet the new demands from the OEMs.
Yes, well, it's a fact. We have a backlog of engine of 15,000 engines, you know, so now we have to produce all those engines. It sounds like a good problem to have, to be honest with you, but the quantities we're talking about are phenomenal. We are going to produce this year 2.5 more LEAP engine than last year. And by 2020, we will be producing more than 2,000 LEAP engines per year. So this is an unprecedented ramp-up in the history of aviation. That's what we have in front of us. Now, of course, we have been preparing for that. You know, the two parent companies of CFM, Safran Aircraft Engines and GE Aviation, have invested, I would say, more than $1 billion over the last decade to create new production facilities or to upgrade production facilities, nine facilities actually. We have also taken the strong commitment to double source all critical parts in the engines. And that program is almost done. We are 95% done and will be finished by the end of the quarter. So it's of course a very important step to secure the deliveries. Now, as you say, all these unprecedented ramp-up that we have ahead of us is creating a lot of challenge. We are, I would say, a handful of weeks behind the schedule right now, working hard to recover. We have actually demonstrated an ability to produce 20 engines per week. That's what we are doing right now. So this helps us catch up, and we will catch up. We will catch up, most likely in the course of the second quarter, definitely by the end of the year.
Okay. Can we look forward a bit now? We're fully expecting Boeing to be talking about their new mid-size aircraft by the time we get to Farnborough Air Show this year. And you're looking at the engine for that because it's very close to the £50,000 limit on your agreements between the two companies. So is that right? CFM will be looking at an engine. Will you be looking at direct, or are you going to be looking at geared? How's it going to work?
Well, to answer your first question, if the requirement falls within the 18,000, 50,000 pound of thrust, which is the agreement we have on CFM, yes, it will be a CFM engine. Now, regarding the architecture, when we come back a little bit in the past and look at how we handled it with the LEAP, at the time we have reviewed, I think it's 18 different architectures. Because it's not simply saying direct drive or gear. I mean, there are so many combinations of modules and architecture that you can pick for the right engine, for the right aircraft. And so we are doing the same process. It's a very sound process to do. I'm not disregarding a gear turbofan, but it looks like the direct drive engine is also offering a lot of potential, a very good solution, and so we're looking at both.
Now, if I can finish with just asking you a question that always intrigues me. What is it that wakes you up in the middle of the night? You're running this phenomenally successful business. Do you wake up in the middle of the night, and what is it that worries you?
Well, a few years back, when I was thinking about how to do as good as our peers at CFM, it was difficult to think that we could reproduce what the founding fathers of CFM had done. Think about it, 100% of the Boeing market, 60% of the Airbus A320 family market. So now we have, where are we with the LEAP? We have 100% of the Boeing MAX market, 60% of the Neo market. We have an order book of 14,200 LEAP engines. So, I mean, it's very difficult to have nightmares at night when you are in a situation like that. So I sleep very well. I have no problem sleeping. And when I wake up in the morning and I look at myself in the mirror to shave, I'm thinking, okay, well, as the CEO of CFM, you have the nicest challenge to have, which is to produce all this phenomenal quantity of engine that has been ordered. So all the attention right now is focused on to succeeding the ramp up. That's where we are putting all our efforts.
Gaël, thank you very, very much for joining us on the program today. Don't forget you can get updates on how things are going with CFM and other manufacturers by logging on to our website and subscribing, wearefin.com. Thank you for watching.